So I just walked out of the Odyssey probably about 3 hours ago or so, and I had to kind of sit with my thoughts. And I did actually have another movie schedule right after that. So otherwise, I would have come here right now and start recording my first impressions of the movie. And let me tell you a little bit about why I feel this is going to be a good chat between us. Growing up, I didn't really get to watch too many movies just because it was a bit of an expense to enjoy the medium. Around 2008, that's when I decided, hey, I'm going to get a job at a movie theater, and the rest is history. I started watching more movies, including horror, which is my favorite genre, and unfortunately, I missed out on a lot of movies from 2008 and before. And a lot of those are Christopher Nolan movies. Yeah, The Dark Knight. I have seen that because it's the legendary performance by Heath Ledger. Of course, I had to have seen it. And I was working at the movie theater then. I got it for free, so why not? I did watch The Dark Knight Rises, which is the final one with Bane. And I, again, will admit, wasn't a big fan of it. And then I kept hearing the name Christopher Nolan over and over and over, and I knew that he was a notorious director, that all of his stuff had to be seen in cinemas. So therefore, I gave Inception a chance, and again, just didn't hit for me. It just didn't hit for me. It's the long run times. If you're going to ask me to go to a movie for 3 hours, it better be damn good. Now we get to the Odyssey. I haven't seen any other Christopher Nolan movies outside of the ones that I named, and I know that he's got quite the repertoire. I know that he's got Memento, I know that he's got The Prestige, so on and so forth, right? When the Odyssey got into my radar, I decided to, why not? Let's give it a shot. It's 3 hours, it's an IMAX, everybody's raving about it. All the actors that are in it are A tier. So I said, screw it, let's go. I literally, not even kidding, bought my ticket yesterday. So then I get in my seat, I'm ready to go. I'm sat down, center of the theater, probably like 7 rows up in like a 12-row theater. And it's an IMAX screen, and I'm ready to go. And let me tell you, 10 minutes into the movie itself, I was locked in. The movie had me in a chokehold because it just looked stunning. A lot of the shots were just stunning. And I mean, that's to be expected, especially when you are a notorious director such as Christopher Nolan, of course. And again, I know that I've missed out on a lot of things. And the way that the story unfolded, I think was really, really well done. Now, I think it's important to address that I don't have experience with the book. I remember having to read it for school, or at least have some modicum of knowledge for school. But I was not a studious person, and English is my second language. And there was also an English class that we had to engage with the book, and I fall asleep when I read. I know the basic story of Odysseus, and I know the basic story of the Odyssey as a whole. So to see it unfold in the movie the way that it did, it was kind of great because it felt like somebody was reading the book to me and telling me about the stories that were happening before the final 45-minute crescendo. So all the stories and all the little chapters, if you will, that happen throughout the actual Odyssey are what make up a majority of the movie. And again, I don't know if that's how it's told in the book, but if it's not, then I think Christopher Nolan did a fantastic way of showing it in a very different way to tell it in a movie sense, because it would have been very different if they had started with the beginning of the story and then just done time jumps. The way that it engages you and it tells you, oh yeah, you heard of this story? Boom, and it drops you right into that part of the story with the Cyclops. Or, oh yeah, this is the last thing that I remember with my soldiers, and boom, it drops you into that part of the story. And it's just, again, the gradual way that you get the story uncovered for you as the viewer is just phenomenal, and it pays off great, and it makes the ending, again, just so rich, so pure, and just emotionally driven. You understand the motivations for everything that has happened, but regardless, the way that everything happens was just beautiful. It was fantastic. The stories that are told, again, come back in so many different ways. Everything has a purpose. It's hard for me to engage with 3-hour movies. This movie, genuinely, I feel, earned every single second of its runtime. Every single second. The movie's fantastic. It's great. It's phenomenal. If you are on the fence about watching it, I would highly recommend watching it because, again, I went in with no hype whatsoever other than all my friends saying that it was going to be amazing, social media saying that it was going to be amazing. and again, the hype of Christopher Nolan. And he has built so much goodwill, and I can clearly see why. I may not have enjoyed Dark Knight Rises, I may not have enjoyed Inception, but there was something so good about the way that this movie was put together, the way that it was shot, the way that it was told. Overall, sensational experience. And if you can watch it in IMAX, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you're going to go watch a movie this summer and you haven't already done so, I highly, highly implore you to give this one a shot, because as a non believer, this movie truly did make me a believer. So, with that said, let me know what you think my next Christopher Nolan movie should be. Whichever movie you think I should watch next from Christopher Nolan, feel free to leave it in the comments. I want to watch old movies that I haven't seen before, and I will not have nostalgia glasses on watching these movies. Feel free to tell me down in the comments below what you thought of the Odyssey, and maybe you didn't like it as much, and if not, tell me why. I love discourse, I love discussing movies, and I think the Odyssey is truly going to stand above a lot of movies throughout 2026 in an already incredibly packed year for movies. So until next time, we'll see you right here on the Mist Retrospective.